Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Carrie and I'm the Sensitive Traveler, and I'm coming to you from my apartment here in Split, Croatia, which is on the Mediterranean coast directly across from Italy. Today I'm going to be telling you about the three main reasons why I chose Croatia as the country to move to when I escaped the US. Number one, food quality, the food supply. Yes, many of you have heard stories of other Americans traveling throughout the world only to find out that they are not allergic to the things they thought they were. They were only allergic to it in the US. Food supply here is not contaminated the way that it is in the US. When I got poisoned by toxic mold in the HVAC system in the apartment that I was living in Dallas, Texas, I became completely allergic to all wheat, all dairy products, including goat's milk and goat cheese, and then all gluten in all forms. I had never had any allergies to it before, and all of a sudden I couldn't tolerate it, and I had some very severe reactions. So I tried the organic versions of those, and still I had reactions. I went ahead and tried everything I could to heal my gut. And those of you who have dealt with food sensitivities or any other type of issues where your gut's involved, you know that's a very lengthy process. You have to go on very specific diets. It's a very expensive process. And I managed to do that for 6 years. But all the while, I knew that I just needed to get out of the United States and I'd be able to eat the food. I just knew it. And as soon as I left the US, I landed in Frankfurt, got off that plane, headed straight for the concession stand, bought a sandwich, and lo and behold, I had zero reactions. I ate a sandwich with whole wheat bread, mozzarella cheese, and cherry tomatoes. And not only did I have no reactions, but I actually felt the way you're supposed to feel when you eat wheat, which is I had energy. I didn't have a spike and a crash because it was whole wheat. I had energy. And then the protein from the cheese, it just was a very complete satisfying meal. And I was really excited to be able to come on my connecting flight to Split and then actually get to eat more. And that's exactly what I did when I came here. I had pizza, I had ice cream, I had everything. No reactions. And remember, guys, this wasn't the organic stuff. So, number two, the cost of living. As many of you have experienced, the cost of living has increased dramatically in the past few years since COVID. Everyone I know, rent has gone up. And if you don't rent, but you own, your property taxes went up. So there isn't anyone who isn't experiencing a really serious increase in their expenditures. And I was living somewhere that was already extremely expensive because as a toxic mold survivor, I can't just move into a place with an old HVAC that's filthy again because that's what made me sick in the first place. And now I was extra sensitized. And that could literally be the difference between me being able to get out of bed and go to work, to make a living, to keep a roof over my head. So I couldn't afford to get some cheap place and take a chance. So I had to get a brand new apartment. And y'all know what those cost, especially in a city like Dallas. So I was living in a 600 square foot apartment, paying an unbelievable amount of money. And then they raised my rent $252, just like that. They didn't do anything special to it. They just raised the rent. And I thought to myself, I need to get out of here. I always remembered that Europe had continued to be a very inexpensive place from the point of view of rent. Now, this was pre-COVID that I was thinking this, right? I knew that it had been cheap for a long, long time. But also, once you add in the fact that Airbnb and other types of rental platforms came around, things changed. So I will say to you this, yes, it's less expensive than the US. But keep in mind, if you're coming here, that you will be spending a lot of money to get here. And then is it really worth it over time if you're saving a few $100s every month? Because what's happened now is it's become such a trendy thing to be on this digital nomad visa. And so many people are moving here for various reasons, climate change, for economic reasons. And then also now that the tyrant is going back into the office, there are thousands of people who want to leave the US, and most of them want to move to Europe. So rent's going to go up again. So rent is going to be pretty close to what it is in the US. And if you're someone who is going to come for, let's say, 6 months or so, and you just want to check it out and you'll be doing an Airbnb, well, you're going to be paying the same prices as the US, because renting an Airbnb in Europe can be very expensive month to month. You're talking on average $2,000. So these are things to consider. The third reason why I moved to Croatia, it was for a slower pace of life. I knew that I wanted to be on the Mediterranean because the Mediterranean cultures tend to be a lot more chill and laid back. And I'm in the south here, so it is that way, even compared to just their capital city, Zagreb, or some of the places further up north. That really helped me to decompress. I needed a place where when I went to the store, for example, or if I'm walking around the old center, I wanted a place where I felt like I could just really just relax my shoulders, not be on guard, and not have a bunch of stressed out people, walking briskly past me. Like, for example, you see in New York. I'm a very sensitive person now after the mold poisoning because it damaged my nervous system. It's a neurotoxin. Those poisons, the mycotoxins, are neurotoxins. So I have some issues with being able to cope with stress, whereas before, I could handle a lot of stress. And so I found myself just needing different things. And while no place is perfect, this place has really contributed to my overall improvement of my health. So I'm really grateful for that. And I don't want to paint a super rosy picture, though. I want to make sure you understand the pros and cons for, the choices that you have in front of you. If you're thinking about moving to Europe, or specifically Croatia, I want to help you navigate the challenges ahead in that choice, because there's a lot of information that people don't share when they're making these videos. And ever since I arrived in 2022, I've been telling people that I really wanted to create a YouTube channel where I could talk about the real pros and cons about moving to Europe now. There's so much has changed in just the last 2 years. And while I was still recovering, I wasn't ready to be able to commit to doing this on a regular basis. Because when you're poisoned by mold and you're dealing with all of the different levels of inflammation and reactions to things, you're still healing, and you're learning to manage your energy. And I didn't have the energy, but now I have my energy back, and I'm going to be talking about the products that really contributed to this as well, because they're amazing, and I think they're going to be a benefit to you. So please like and subscribe and let me know some of the things that you guys have concerns about as you're looking to move abroad, or maybe just visit and stay for a short period of time.